The frozen forests of Sweden. Among the snow and trees, history has been made. Legendary drivers have left their mark. But we've no time to reminisce. Right now, the World Rally class of 2013 are in town. Hello, I'm Kevin Piper. Welcome to Rally Sweden, the second event of the WRC, featuring the best in the business, tackling the world's toughest roads, from the snow of Scandinavia to the rough mountain tracks of Argentina and the smooth, flowing tarmac of Spain. Sweden's a chance for the Nordic natives to make their mark, but for Finland's Mikko Hirvonen, any thoughts of victory here were over as early as stage 2. Mikko clearly fighting to control his Citroën, crashing out, rolling over, no one hurt happily, but Mikko and co-driver Jarmo Leitinen stuck in the snow for 25 minutes. They had no choice but to get the shovels out and dig.
It's been really not what we wanted, but that's how it is sometimes. It just doesn't go the way you want, and quite a few people were saying that, you know, this is definitely going to be the chance in the year when you can fight the title and you're definitely the favorite, but as we can see, it's not so easy.
It was a better day for the other Finnish star, Jari-Matti Latvala, the Volkswagen driver maintaining a place in the top 3 despite a problem with his in-car intercom on stage 7. It meant he couldn't hear co-driver Mika Antela's pace notes.
I was driving without notes first 10 kilometers, and I can tell you that I'm quite angry at the moment.
But those communication issues didn't stop an angry Latvala, ending the day in 3rd, less than 2 seconds behind this man, world champion Sebastian Loeb, winner of the opening round in Monte Carlo. Loeb's the only non-Scandinavian to win this full-blown snow and ice event, but the performance of his fellow Frenchman Sébastien Ogier yesterday suggested Loeb might not hold that honour much longer. 5 stage wins will see the Volkswagen driver start today with a lead of over 30 seconds. Ogier sending an early message that he could well be the man to beat in 2013.
Incredible day for us, really good feeling. This morning not perfect, but still was enough with a good road position, and this afternoon I had really good feeling. The car was just perfect, and I'm happy with my day.
And so he should be. Ogier with a comfortable lead ahead of Loeb and Latvala, who are separated by less than 2 seconds. Mads Osberg in 4th could become involved in that battle for 2nd. He starts today less than 10 seconds behind Latvala. Pontus Tiedemund is the best of the rest in 6th on this his home event. Well, those positions determine the road order for today, which means Ogier has the advantage of starting 17th, the last of the WRC cars, and it also means he should benefit from better grip as the earlier drivers effectively clean the stage. As well as some stunning scenery, Rally Sweden also provides some of the most exhilarating action of the season. Thousands of rally fans prepared to brave the sub-zero temperatures. The rally's based around the city of Karlstad in the south of the country. The stage is situated to the north of here. 4 will be run in the morning, repeated in the afternoon, making a total distance of 114 competitive kilometres. The longest of these is Ramen at 22.7 kilometres. The quickest is Sagen, one of the fastest stages of the season. And it's where we join our commentator, Paul King.
Thanks, Kevin. Fans out in force again, despite the inclement weather, and already on his way into this stunning 14-kilometre stage is Mikko Hirvonen. And that stage 2 off has ended any chances of him claiming a 3rd Sweden win. And what a stretch of road this is. Sagen, famously the favourite stage of double world champion Marcus Gronholm. Mikko's compatriot even naming his restaurant after it. Now, British youngster Matt Wilson has stepped in to replace an unwell Nasser Al-Attiyah this weekend, and it has already been a lively return to action for the M-Sport man.
Long, 180. -5 Al Qasimi. Slide right, 20.
Really incredibly quick here.
And 5 left minus, keep in.
But Matt's lost control.
Opa. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay.
Well, it's not taken long for the Swedish snow to bite this morning. Let's take another look from inside. Thankfully, a soft landing for Matt and Giovanni Bernacchini. Difficult to see how he lost the rear of the car there, but once he was sliding, they were passengers. And unlike Hirvonen yesterday, clearly Wilson will not be getting back on the road anytime soon. And not far back in the stage is Mads Osberg, the Norwegian on a quest to get back into the podium positions for a third successive year in Sweden. Oh, but I think that's Pontus Tiedman, the local driver's parked up. And no such problems for Osberg. His first target is the Volkswagen of Jari-Matti Latvala. Oh yeah, there is confirmation. It looks like engine problems have indeed brought Tiedman's incredible WRC debut to an abrupt and extremely frustrating end. A nightmare start to the day for Tiedman, but returning to that intriguing three-way fight for the final podium places, and Latvala knows he's under real pressure with Osberg on the attack. You can see why Latvala's compatriot Gronholm loved this stage. Incredibly quick, rhythm and feeling crucial in here. Breathtaking stuff, but he's struggling to match Mads.
Jari ended the first one of the morning. Obviously lost a little bit of time there to Mads.
Yeah, it's him. I don't know exactly the times, unfortunately. I have only the split to the middle time, but yeah, he was going pretty fast. I felt I was having a pretty good run, but he's going really well.
Interesting. Latvala not quite feeling it yet this morning, and that could be good news for this man, the great Sebastian Loeb. With leader Ogier seemingly disappearing into the distance, the world champion has got himself entrenched in this scrap for second. The flying finish is fast approaching. Let's see how he compares to Latvala. We're looking at their overall times here. I think Loeb could increase it. He has. The gap now up to 6.4 seconds. Advantage Loeb in the fight for second then. Sebastian's namesake and compatriot Ogier, meanwhile, has already built up a healthy advantage of half a minute over the course of the opening day. Frenchman's display in the new Polo R once again supreme. It's another stage win for Ogier, and he extends his advantage out front. An average speed of 115 kilometers an hour in here. But now going nowhere fast is Matt Wilson.
As you can tell, we're upside down, but I was pushing quite hard. We had a few mistakes yesterday, and then we had a better road position today. This is, one of my favourite stages, and then just a little bit too fast into there. Hit the snowbank, but the snow is so soft it just dragged us in, and it's gone over a couple of times and landed on its roof. So fortunately, we're just well stuck more than anything else.
Well, Matt's out, but Ogier's advantage is up to 33.5 seconds behind the leader. Loeb has also edged slightly away from Latvala, and Osberg has closed up on the Finn. Further back with Tiedman out, Finnish privateer Juho Hänninen has moved into the top 6.
Thanks, Paul. Well, driving at speeds approaching 200 kilometres an hour on ice and snow is only possible with a specially studded tyre. Michelin's new snow tyre for Sweden is a very different beast to the winter version used in the last round at Monte Carlo.
The tyre for Monte Carlo is wider, and also the rubber is completely different, because this one need to be a rubber very hard to support the stud, so long stud. Because Monte Carlo stud are just 2.5 protrusion compared to this one, who are 6.5. The stud are made, the outside point is tungsten, and the corp of the stud is steel. So the total stud is 20 millimeter, and we have just outside 6.5. So inside is a difference.
And we shall see those studded tyres tested to the maximum very shortly in our stage of the day, where grip is at a minimum. That's next. welcome back to Sweden, where things are looking very good from every angle as far as our rally leader is concerned. Sébastien Ogier setting the pace. Only a shame he doesn't have time to take in the scenery.
Droite 130, bon léger des verts. Droite 130, bon léger des verts. Sur gauche 140 à fond. Sur droite 140 à fond. 200 mètres. 200 mètres. Attention, léger gauche. 156, gros frein pour gauche en 20 plus devant arbre. 156, gros frein pour gauche en 20 plus.
Ogier then our leader as we rejoin Paul King on this Saturday morning.
And a first glimpse of one of the classic Swedish tests, Frederiksberg, coming up. Confirmation there of Ogier's lead, standing at just over half a minute. And Czech national team driver Martin Prokop giving us an early taste of the conditions. As you can see, it's another fast, undulating challenge, a real roller coaster of a stage for the Ford driver as he seeks to continue his progress up the leaderboard. Prokop in 9th position at the moment.
Demasiado por la presión del piloto español. El que presionaba sin lugar a dudas era Matt Osberg. Seguía siendo un hombre con una misión: intentar alcanzar a Latvala. Muy agresivo a lo largo de este 10º tramo. Pero a pesar de que era agresivo, en este tramo no iba a conseguir recortarle terreno a Latvala. Creo que he apretado bastante. Quiero hacer mucho más, pero quizás en este tramo he estado en la dirección no correcta. Continuaremos dándolo todo. Latvala era el que respondía ante la presión de Osberg y lograba.
Another blisteringly quick section here. Easy to forget the world's finest rally drivers are racing on snow. Massive jumps as well in here. Been a terrific battling display from the two-time Sweden winner. He's quickest through so far.
I started to gain the confidence back again, and to be honest, I have been a little bit, I know the car is good, but I don't understand its limits. And this is what this is, why I'm struggling sometimes, but it feels more natural now that I have been getting closer.
Well, with Latvala spurred on by Osberg's challenge, that in turn will put more pressure on world champion Sebastian Loeb. He's just 6.5 seconds ahead on the leaderboard in second. Frenchman potentially on his last ever Sweden rally, desperate to stay ahead. What can he do in here? There's nothing in it again. Well, Loeb is slower in this stage, but he's only lost 0.2 of a second after 18 kilometres. Really close racing, as ever, in the Swedish forests. While the fight for second continues to compel out front and continuing to dominate is this man, Sébastien Ogier. Looking comfortable with his advantage of more than half a minute. Incredibly, a first ever WRC win for VW is now looking increasingly likely on their second event with the Polo R. Distinctive sounding car as well, and Ogier showing incredible control. He has lost a few seconds late in the stage here. Hopefully, no cause for concern for the rally leader.
Five seconds down, that's strange for you in Sweden this weekend.
Yeah, I took it a bit more easy. I had a good first split, and then I changed my rhythm a bit too much, but it's okay. I was really careful, so no problem.
Well, with Ogier easing off, Jari-Matti Latvala was able to claim his first stage win of the weekend, but there is only around 12 seconds between second and fourth. And moving straight on to the remaining forest stage, Mikael Kosciuszko is the leading Mini driver. The Pole has had a difficult event so far with a number of technical problems, but Mikael finally making some progress up to 17th in stage 11. Yevgeny Novikov has made a strong start on the WRC's tough winter roads, both here and in Monte Carlo. The young Russian, alongside Austrian co-driver Ilka Miner, are holding their own in 5th, and again looking completely at home on ice and snow. Sports number 2 could be one of the dark horses of the 2013 campaign. Let's take a moment to ride on board through this stunning stage.
And right one hard, negative.
Vaughan using the snowbank to bounce off the road there.
Left one short cut. Right one in cut. Left one short cut.
It's another wide flowing road in Raman, and the big mover in here seems to be Sebastian Loeb at the moment. There is little Latvala can do about the pace of the 9-time world champion, and it's a first stage win of the weekend for Seb. The Citroën Star's 2nd place is looking increasingly secure. The morning stage has ended with the 1.9-kilometre Hagfors sprint, where Loeb took more time out of Latvala, his advantage up to nearly 14 seconds, and Osberg is still hot on Latvala's tail.
Time now to head back to service along 15 kilometres of public road, passing through the town of Hagfors. The laws of the highway must be obeyed in this liaison section, so no speeding, but the crews do need to return to service within a stated time limit. If not, they're handed time penalties. It's also a chance for rally fans to get a close glimpse of their WRC heroes. The service park here in Sweden is based at Hagfors Airport. Yevgeny Novikov's Ford is back in good time, with the team mechanics ready and waiting.
We've got 30 minutes. Basically, you're allowed 8 mechanics per 2-car team, and you can use any combination of mechanics between the 2 cars as long as you only have them 8 mechanics on them 2 cars.
Well, service is always a challenge up against the clock, and it's not made any easier by the sub-zero temperatures here, hovering between -7 and -10 degrees Celsius.
About 10 minutes into the service, you start losing the feeling in your fingers, because it's quite cold, and your tools are obviously cold, and that can make things quite difficult.
Another problem here, the ice collected in places such as the wheel arches. The cars have to be kept as light as possible, so any extra weight like this has to be removed.
They're chopping ice off the car, as you can see at the moment. There'll be up to sort of 35 kilos of ice built up on the car as well. But there's a lot of pressure, midday service, all the cars are running close together, so that puts a lot more pressure on the guys.
Service duly complete. It's time for Yevgeny and the rest of the drivers to head out for the afternoon stages, in the company once again of Paul King.
Thanks, Kevin. And for Novikov's team of mechanics, the hard work is done. The Russians' Fiesta is primed for action again on the afternoon loop. Yevgeny sitting comfortably there in 5th place. The fight for 3rd, the one to watch at the moment. And the Swedish rally fans taking it all very seriously, of course. We're back with Novikov in stage 13, and he has got pedal to the metal immediately. Incredible scenes again through this classic Sagan test.
80 brake, right one hard short in, attention narrow.
After that service with the Ford on song and the driver committed, it's another strong run for the man in 5th. With no fresh snow today on this 2nd pass through the stages, the danger now could be surviving the increasingly rutted surface. Having begun to slip adrift of Sebastian Loeb today, Matti Latvala is becoming increasingly concerned with the pace of Mads Osberg. The Finn is a fighter though, and in this 2nd pass through the incredible Sagan stage, it's Jari who has the upper hand, edging away from the Norwegian, only by a few tenths of a second. Well, Loeb may have the edge at the moment, but there is still very little to choose between these 3 men fighting for the final 2 places on the podium. You can see how rough and rutted these roads are in some places. The gravel starting to appear through the snow. There is still plenty of grip in the racing line, but Seb needing to be really clean and accurate. Wide there, stray even slightly offline, and it is incredibly slippery. Loeb amazingly sets an identical time to Ogier in here. So Loeb making his second position even more secure with every passing stage. He's now over 18 seconds ahead of Latvala, but the Finn has Osberg now lying ominously close, just 2 seconds between third and fourth. Our man Novikov remains comfortable in fifth.
Yes, that battle for third shaping up very nicely. Certainly one to watch in the final stages of the day, which are coming up very shortly. Welcome once again to Rally Sweden, where Sebastian Ogier continues to lead in the snowbound forests. Before we tackle the final stages of the day, let's check out the WRC Support Championship. WRC2, remember, features up-and-coming drivers competing in near showroom specification cars. At the start of day 3, Norway's Anders Grøndal was looking comfortable with the lead over the chasing pack of more than half a minute in his Subaru Impreza. Chasing Grøndal down, the man from Saudi Arabia, Yazid Al-Raji. Despite being a relative novice on snow, he was on a charge, winning 6 out of 7 stages in his Ford Fiesta. Entering the final stage of the day, he's cut the gap to under a second. Championship leader Sepp Wiegand remains in third despite dropping time on stage 10 when he got caught behind a WRC car with mechanical problems. But it was Grøndal who would go into the final day as leader after setting the fastest time on the final stage. The Norwegians lead over Yazid Al-Raji, just 4.5 seconds though. Behind the top 3, Yuri Protasov is 4th and Nicholas Fuchs 5th. Okay, back to the main act now with Paul King.
Thank you, Kevin. Yes, it will soon be time to return to these classic Swedish roads. A reminder there of how the leaderboard looks. Ogier safe in the lead, but the fight for third is well and truly on. And it's a stage to forget for Khalid Al-Qasimi, a fan, catching this dramatic off in stage 15. It's the Emirati's first event in the Citroën DS3, but with his radiator damaged with this impact, he will go no further today. The focus of this afternoon loop is undoubtedly on the intriguing tussle for the final podium spot between Mads Osberg and this man, Jari-Matti Latvala. VW's Flying Finn has become increasingly uncomfortable on these rough and rutted roads, and he could be in trouble here. He only had a 1.8 second advantage over Mads before this stage. And he's already behind. Jari down to third place and now 3.1 seconds behind. It really has been Osberg's day today. He's been relentless in his pursuit of Latvala. Oh, but that was a big moment for the Norwegian. A really high-speed wobble. Mads did incredibly well to recover that. With Osberg and Latvala still squabbling over third, it's allowed Loeb to pull away. And who knows, could the world champion yet build a late but unlikely challenge for the rally win? Oh, but he's driving over the limit at times too. Thankfully, just a low-speed incident for Seb, and the final forest stage of the day is safely cleared. With his compatriot and former teammate still poised to pounce, should he make even the smallest of errors, Sebastian Ogier can't relax for a moment. The sight of this brand new Volkswagen screaming across Sweden's incredible forest roads is quite remarkable. One more blast over these famous crests, and as if to remind his old sparring partner who is in charge, Ogier probably grabs the final 2 forest stage wins of the day. Ogier was beaten by Loeb in the last test, the second run through the Hagfors sprint, but only by a second. He holds a lead of nearly half a minute. Osberg and Latvala set identical times in Hagfors. They end the day separated by 6.1. Evgeny Novikov remains 5th. He's followed by Thierry Neuville and Juho Hänninen, with Henning Solberg in 8th.
Everybody knows that to win a rally you have to cross the finish line, and you don't need to lead all the weekend, you just need to cross the finish line. So we have to keep the concentration, but at least we have done a good job till here, and we are in the best position to get it.
And it's great as well, there's enough of a cushion between you and Sebastian that you don't have to push like over the limit.
Yeah, to conserve the gap with Seb is never easy, and for sure we had to drive fast today, and we had to push because he was pushing really hard as well. So we are happy to be here tonight with still almost the same gap as yesterday.
So Sébastien Ogier, just 1 day and 6 stages away from victory. Make sure you join us tomorrow to see if he can do it.
Are you okay?
Yeah,